Morning all. Let us start the next chapter, that is inverse Laplace transform. So the definition is, if Laplace of ft equal to f bar s, then uh, this is not a definition, this is just the notation for inverse Laplace transform. Definition for Laplace transform in reverse order, if we take, then we get the inverse Laplace transform definition. So this is the notation, and this notation we have to use in solving the examples. So L of ft, that is Laplace transform of ft equal to f bar s, then this L or L inverse, these are the operators. So if we take this operator L on RHS, then we get L on RHS becomes L inverse of f bar s is equal to, in left side remaining term is ft, that is L inverse of f bar is equal to ft. So this is the notation for inverse Laplace transform. So the formulae for inverse Laplace transform are, if we apply the Laplace transform formulae in reverse order, then we get the inverse Laplace transform formulae. That is, these are your Laplace transform formulae. That is Laplace of 1 equal to 1 by s, Laplace of e raised to at 1 upon s minus a, Laplace of e raised to minus at 1 upon s plus a, Laplace of sin at a upon s square plus a square, Laplace of cos at s upon s square plus a square, Laplace of sin hyperbolic at a upon, just take the minus sign in this sin at and cos at Laplace transform formula, we get the hyperbolic formula, that is sin hyperbolic at Laplace is a upon s square minus a square, and cos hyperbolic at Laplace is s upon s square minus s square. Just take minus sign in the denominator, we get the hyperbolic formula. Then Laplace of t raised to n, it has two formulae in factorial form, in factorial notation and in gamma notation. So in factorial notation, the formula is t raised to n Laplace is n factorial upon s raised to n plus 1, or gamma n plus 1 upon s raised to n plus 1. So these are your Laplace transform formulae with notation L of. And in Laplace transform chapter, L of whatever the term in this bracket, it contains only t variable, and while we take the Laplace transform, we get the answer in s variable. And in inverse Laplace transform, it is exactly a reverse. That is, what are the formulae for inverse Laplace transform? Take just this L operator which is on LHS, we have to take this L operator on RHS. Just take this L operator on RHS, we get the formula in inverse Laplace transform. So this is the first formula, Laplace of 1 equal to 1 by s, then take this L on RHS, we get L inverse of 1 by s equal to 1. So this is your first formula for inverse Laplace transform. Then the Laplace transform formula for e raised to at is 1 upon s minus a. If we take this L on RHS, we get L inverse of 1 upon s minus a equal to e raised to at. L inverse of 1 upon s minus a equal to e raised to at. Then L inverse of 1 upon s plus a is e raised to minus at. This is the third formula. Take just this L operator on RHS, we get the inverse formula, inverse Laplace transform formula. So in this formula, if we take L on this RHS, so we get L inverse of a upon s square plus s square equal to sin at. But for finding the formula, or for forming the this formula, we are not remembering this formula, just remember only Laplace transform formula and take this L operator on RHS, we get the inverse Laplace transform formula directly. So no need to remember this formula, just remember this Laplace transform formula. Take this L operator on RHS, we get inverse Laplace transform formula. So here only one thing or one step is important in this forming this formula, is that L inverse of, when we take the L operator, the bracketed term contains the t variable, and when we take the L inverse operator, the bracket term contains only s variable. So in Laplace transform formulae, our questions or examples are in t variable, and we use the formulae, diode formulae of Laplace transform and properties. We get the answer, and these answers are in s variable. T variable changes to s variable in Laplace transform chapter, and in inverse Laplace transform chapter, exactly it is reverse. That is, examples are in s variable. Apply the inverse Laplace transform formula, and whatever we get the answer, that answer will be in t variable. So in Laplace transform formula, t changes to s variable in inverse Laplace transform chapter, or in this formula, s variable changes to t variable. T to s, s to t. This is just the reverse order. So the one important point is, so as we want only s variable term while we forming the formulae, so this a should not be here. L inverse of a upon s square plus a square. That is, if we take this L operator on RHS, we get L inverse of a upon s square plus a square. So that a we don't have to take in this formula while we forming this formula. So this while this a we have to take on the other side, because a is constant, and in inverse Laplace transform formula, in this bracket we just want the s variable terms only, no any constant term. So this a is constant, so we have to take this a on this left side. So only take this L on RHS. L inverse of 1 upon s square plus a square is equal to, take this a on left side, we get sin 80 upon a. So this is your formula. L inverse of 1 upon s square plus a square equal to sin 80 upon a. Then take this L operator for cos 80. Take this L operator on RHS, we get, because in this function there is no any separate constant term. Here this constant term is in the form of multiplication. Hence we have taken this a on this LHS and form the inverse formula. But in this term there is no any separate constant term, so directly only take this L operator on RHS. L inverse of s upon s square plus a square equal to cos 80. This is your next formula. Then again, when we take this L operator on RHS, simultaneously we have to take this a constant on LHS. That is, L inverse of 1 upon s square minus a square equal to sin hyperbolic 80, and this a should be in left side, that is in denominator, that is sin hyperbolic 80 upon a. So the formula is L inverse of 1 upon s square minus a square equal to sin hyperbolic 80 upon a. Sin hyperbolic 80 upon a. So this is that type of formula. Then for cos hyperbolic 80 Laplace, s upon s square minus s square. So this is totally in s variable terms. So only we have to take this L operator on RHS. So L inverse of s upon s square minus a square, s upon s square minus a square equal to cos hyperbolic 80, equal to cos hyperbolic 80. Then again for t raised to n Laplace transform formula, n factorial and gamma n plus 1, these are constant term. And for forming the inverse Laplace transform formula, just we want the bracket containing only s variable term. Hence we have to take this n factorial and gamma n plus 1 on left side. So we get t raised to n upon n factorial, t raised to n upon gamma n plus 1, and this we have to take L operator on RHS. So we get L inverse of 1 upon s raised to n plus 1 is equal to t raised to n upon n factorial. We have to take this n factorial on left side. Then take this L on RHS. So L inverse of, take this gamma n plus 1 on left side and L on right side. So L inverse of 1 upon s raised to n plus 1 is equal to t raised to n, and this gamma n plus 1 should be in left side. So t raised to n upon gamma n plus 1. So 1 upon s raised to n plus 1 inverse Laplace transform. Again have the two formulae, t raised to n upon n factorial and t raised to n upon gamma n plus 1. So these are the formulae we need not to remember. Only just remember this Laplace transform formulae. Take this L operator on RHS, we get inverse Laplace transform formulae, and in this forming this formulae, uh, L inverse of whatever the bracket is there in formulae, that bracket should contain only S variable term, not any constant. So in this L inverse of, if we just take this L operator on RHS, we get L inverse of A upon S square plus A square equal to sin 80. But for forming the inverse Laplace transform formulae, this A should not be in this bracket because A is constant. So this bracket should contain only S variable term. So take this A on this left side. So sin 80 upon A. This is your answer, or inverse Laplace transform of 1 upon S square plus S square. Again, for sin hyperbolic 80 Laplace, take this A on left side. So L inverse of 1 upon S square minus S square equal to sin hyperbolic 80 upon A. Then again, for t raised to n Laplace transform formula, take this n factorial and gamma n plus 1 on left side. We get the inverse of 1 upon s raised to n plus 1 with two formulae in gamma notation and in factorial notation and in gamma notation. So these are your formulae for inverse Laplace transform. So let us see some examples. So in this chapter, inverse Laplace transform chapter, some properties from Laplace transform chapter we have to directly take for the inverse Laplace transform examples. So whatever the for example, shifting property. So shifting property is there in Laplace transform chapter. This shifting property again we have to use in reverse order to find the answer of this inverse Laplace transform examples. So some properties are again repeated in this chapter but in reverse manner or reverse order, as we have seen how to form the inverse Laplace transform formulae by using Laplace transform formulae. Just take the reverse order, or just take this L operator on RHS, we get the formulae. Same point or same step we have to repeat while we use the properties of Laplace transform formulae. So one by one we can see these properties in inverse Laplace transform. So first example is, find the Laplace transform of find the inverse Laplace transform of, so the notation is L inverse, and when we use L operator, or when we see the L operator, the bracketed term should be in t variable, and when we see the L inverse operator or L inverse notation, the bracketed term contains S variable term. So this is your first example in inverse Laplace transform chapter. So find the inverse Laplace transform of L inverse of 3 into s square minus 1 bracket square upon 2 into s raised to 5. So first, this term is not matched with any of these functions because these functions are single term. So we can't apply this direct inverse Laplace transform formula or formulae for this example, because 1 by s, there is the inverse Laplace transform contains typical functions or typical terms, that is 1 upon 1 upon 1 upon. Only for cos term there is s upon. All other formulae, all other formulae contains only denominator term, 1 upon s minus a. So here there is a s term in numerator. So, and s term, not only s term, bracket square term in numerator. So we can't apply one of these formulae for this example directly. So first we have to simplify this term and then we can think about this formula. So how to simplify this? So this is a square term in numerator. So expand this square function by using the formula a minus b bracket square. So a square minus twice ab plus b square. That formula is for a minus b bracket square expansion. So 3 as it is, a minus b, a is your s square, b is your 1. So a square, s square its square. Formula is a square minus twice ab plus b square. A is your s square, b is your 1. So this is the formula for a minus b brackets. So a square, that is s square square, s raised to 4, minus twice ab, twice s square into 1, 2s square, plus b square plus 1 square, that is plus 1, upon 2s raised to 5, right as it is. So we have simplified or expand this bracket square term by using a minus b bracket square formula. Then again we can simplify this function by separating the terms. So 3 upon 2, right as it is, as this is a constant. So s raised to 4 upon s raised to 5 minus 2s square upon s raised to 5 plus 1 upon s raised to 5. Take this s raised to 5 separately to all these three terms in numerator. So s raised to 4 upon s raised to 5, 1 upon s. S raised to 4 is cancelled from s raised to 5. Then minus this 3 by 2 we have taken outside. So minus 2s square upon s raised to 5. So minus 2 upon s square get cancelled from s raised to 5. So we get remaining term is s cube plus 1 upon s raised to 5. 1 upon s raised to 5. Again take this 3 by 2 outside this operator L inverse. So 3 by 2 L inverse of 1 upon s minus 2 upon s cube plus 1 upon s raised to 5. So this is the simplification of this example. Then we can think about this formulae, because these three terms matched with one of these formulae of inverse Laplace transform. So here 80% or this cos 80 and cos hyperbolic 80, if we neglect these two formulae, then in rest of all other formulae the function is like 1 upon 1 upon 1 upon 1 upon. So here there is a square term, that is s variable term in numerator. So hence we have to simplify this given function. Then by separate out these terms we get this final simplified form function. Then L inverse of this bracket means take this L inverse of each term. So L inverse of 1 by s, which formula we have to use here? First formula, L inverse of 1 by s is 1. So L inverse of 1 by s is 1, minus 2 is constant, right as it is, into L inverse of 1 upon s cube. L inverse of 1 upon s cube. So this 1 upon s cube matched with 1 upon s, not matched. There should be 1 upon s cube. So this is a bracketed term, bracketed term, bracketed term, square term, square term, square term. So this 1 upon s cube matched with this two formulae, one of the two formulae of t raised to n Laplace transform, that is this formula. So how to use? So this formula is L inverse of 1 upon s raised to n plus 1, that is s raised to some power term, some number, and that number is in the form of n plus 1 term. So L inverse of 1 upon s raised to n plus 1 is equal to t raised to n upon n factorial. So compare this left side of this formula with this given term 1 upon s cube, 1 upon s raised to n plus 1, we get n plus 1 is equal to 3. N plus 1 equal to 3. So this is the typical two steps while we use property or direct formula of Laplace or inverse Laplace transform formulae. Just compare the left side of the given formula or given property with the given term in the given example. Whatever by comparison we get, put that value in the RHS of your given formula. So by comparing this left side of this formula with this 1 upon s cube term, 1 upon s raised to n plus 1, 1 upon s cube. So n plus 1 equal to 3. By simplifying we get plus 1 goes to right side. So 3 minus 1, that is 2. So we get n equal to 2. So this n equal to 2 value we have to put here. So we get t raised to 2, that is t square upon 2 factorial. So 1 upon s cube inverse Laplace transform is t square upon 2 factorial, and 2 factorial is 2. So 1 upon s cube inverse Laplace transform is t square by 2. T square by 2. So for finding 1 upon s cube inverse Laplace transform, we are used this factorial formula. Again for 1 upon s raised to 5 inverse Laplace is, again use this factorial formula. So 1 upon s raised to 5, 1 upon s raised to n plus 1. So here we get by comparison n plus 1 equal to 5. So n plus 1 equal to 5, n equal to 4. So put that n equal to 4 in this RHS of this formula, we get t raised to 4 upon 4 factorial. T raised to 4 upon 4 factorial. So as we have used this formula, factorial formula, for finding the inverse Laplace transform of 1 upon s cube, same formula we have to use for finding inverse Laplace of 1 upon s raised to 5. So we get this term, this answer of L inverse of this bracket. So by simplifying 3 by 2, 1 minus 2 get cancelled, t square plus t raised to 4 upon 4 factorial is 4 into 3 into 2, that is 24. So this is your answer of this inverse Laplace transform of this given term. So this given term, we can't apply this formula directly because the term, this function, one of the function is not matched with this given example. Hence first we simplified this given function, we expand this square, then separate out the terms, and whatever we get, 1 by s Laplace inverse Laplace is 1. Then for finding inverse of 1 upon s cube and 1 upon s raised to 5, we have used 1 upon s raised to n plus 1, this formula. So the next example is L inverse of, find inverse Laplace transform of 2s plus 1 upon s square minus 4. So in this again numerator and denominator contains s variable term, but in formula only cos hyperbolic and cos at term contains s variable term in numerator, otherwise all other formulae contains 1 upon term. So here, and for applying this cos at inverse Laplace formula or cos hyperbolic at inverse Laplace transform formula, we want s upon term, s upon. So here s upon term is not present, so we can't use this formula directly. So first we have to simplify this given term. How to simplify? Just separate out these two terms, 2s upon s square minus 4 plus 2s upon s square minus 4 plus 1 upon s square minus 4. So this is the separation, and then think about the inverse Laplace transform formula. So take inverse Laplace of this both the terms. So 2 write as it is, L inverse of s upon s square minus 4 plus L inverse of 1 upon s square minus 4. So this term match with this cos hyperbolic at formula, because that cos hyperbolic at inverse Laplace transform formula, that inverse of that term is like s upon s square minus s square minus 4. So instead of a square we have given, or we have asked 4 here. So we have to use here this s upon s square minus 4, this term matched with this cos hyperbolic at inverse Laplace transform formula, because the function is like s upon s square minus a square, its inverse is cos hyperbolic at. So here we have to use this formula for finding this inverse. So s upon s square minus a square, s upon s square minus 4. So by comparing we get, this is your formula, this is your required term. Compare this left side of this formula with this given term, we get a square equal to 4. So a square equal to 4 gives a equal to 2. So whatever by comparison we get a equal to 2, put that a equal to 2 in this RHS of formula, we get cos hyperbolic 2t. So which is the answer of your given function. So L inverse of s upon s square minus 4, its inverse is cos hyperbolic 2t. 2 as it is, its inverse is cos hyperbolic 2t. Then to find L inverse of 1 upon term, 1 upon s square means squaring term. So 1 upon squaring term, 1 upon this we can't apply. This is not to be used. 1 upon s square term with middle sign is minus sign. 1 upon s square term with minus sign. So we have to use this sine hyperbolic formula because it contains 1 upon s square term with minus sign. So this 1 upon s square minus s square inverse Laplace transform formula matched with this function, given function. So the formula is L inverse of 1 upon s square minus s square is sine hyperbolic at upon a. So this formula we have to use because this function 1 upon s square with minus sign, this function matched with this term 1 upon s square term with minus sign. So this formula we have to use. So compare this formula. So L inverse of the formula is L inverse of 1 upon s square minus a square equal to sine hyperbolic at upon a. So compare this left side with this given term 1 upon s square minus a square, 1 upon s square minus 4, we get a square equal to 4. So by simplifying a square equal to 4, we get a equal to 2. Put this value a equal to 2 on RHS, we get sine hyperbolic 2t upon 2. So this is your answer of this given function. So sine hyperbolic 2t upon 2. So inverse of s upon s square minus 4 by this formula is cos hyperbolic 2t, and 1 upon s square minus 4 inverse is sine hyperbolic 2t upon 2. So this is your next example. Then L inverse of 4s plus 25 upon 16s square minus 25. Again there is a term in numerator and denominator, hence we can't use this formula directly because the example contains 1 upon term, then only we can use this formula, or s upon term, s upon or 1 upon term, then only we can use this formula. Otherwise we have to, if these functions are not matched with the given example, then we have to simplify first your given example and then use this formula. So here again we have to separate out these two these two terms, that is 4s upon 16s square minus 25, 4s upon 16s square minus 25, take this 4 outside because this is constant, plus 25 upon 16s square minus 25, 25 take outside, so 25 into L inverse of 1 upon 16s square minus 25. So here we have taken these terms separately, we get this because by directly we can't use the given inverse Laplace transform formula for this term. Hence we have to simplify this first term into two terms as 4s upon plus 25 upon. Whatever the constants if present, take outside the L inverse operator. So this is your function and this is your next function. So which formula we have to use? S upon 1 upon middle sign is minus sign and with squaring term s square term. So we have to use this hyperbolic formula because middle sign is minus sign. So in not in other formula the minus sign is present in the middle. So these are the two formulae, just you can see that minus sign is in the middle which is present. So these two formulae we have to use, but again we can't use these formulae, hyperbolic formulae for this because only s square term should be present in denominator, s square minus a square, s square minus a square means the coefficient of s square should be 1, coefficient of s square should be 1. So here coefficient of s square is 16, coefficient of s square is 16, so we can't use this formula directly. So again we have to simplify this term as take this 16 outside because when we take this 16 outside, then only we can use s upon s square minus 1 upon s square minus formula. So take this 16 outside as 4 upon 16. So take this 16 outside. So common term, consider or assume as a common term. So take this 16 outside. So 16 into bracket s square minus 25 upon 16. This 25 number should be 25 upon 16, because we have to take this 16 common, or we have to take this 16 outside to this bracket. So take this 16 outside, so we get s square minus 25 upon 16. If we multiply this 16 to this bracket, 16 s square minus 16 into 25 upon 16, that is 16 get cancelled, we get 16 s square minus 25 as it is the previous term. So this is your correct step. So take 16 common, we get s square minus 25 upon 16. Again here take 16 common, so we get s square minus 25 upon 16. So this term, now this term and this term matched with the hyperbolic formulae. So s upon s square minus 1 upon s square minus. So here these are the formulae. S upon s square minus 1 upon s square minus. So these are formulae for sine hyperbolic and cos hyperbolic inverse Laplace transform. So these two formulae we have to use. For 1 upon s square minus formula, the formula is for sine hyperbolic, and s upon formula is for cos hyperbolic. So for first we have to use this cos hyperbolic formula. So s upon s square minus, this is your term and this is your formula. So compare this left side of this inverse transform with this given function, this formula, s upon s square minus a square, s upon s square minus a square. So we get by comparison a square is your 25 by 16. A square is your 25 by 16. So we get a equal to, take square root, a equal to 5 by 4. Put this a equal to 5 by 4 in this RHS. So cos hyperbolic 5 by 4t. Cos hyperbolic 5 by 4t. So this is the cos hyperbolic 5 by 4t. So this is the answer of L inverse of s upon s square minus 25 by 16. Then 1 upon s square minus 25 by 16 matched with 1 upon s square minus a square. So here s square value is 25 by 16, a value is 5 by 4. Put this a value 5 by 4 in this RHS. Sine hyperbolic 5 by 4t upon 5 by 4. Sine hyperbolic 5 by 4t upon 5 by 4. So by simplifying just 2 steps ahead, we get the final answer, that is 1 by 4. First 4 by 16 is 1 by 4. Cos hyperbolic 5 by 4t. Write this first term as it is. Then 15 by 16. Take this 5 by 4 on numerator, we get 4 by 5. So 4 upon 16 and 15 upon 5, we get 3 by 4. This 1 by 4 and this 3, from this 3 by 4, take 1 by 4 common, we get cos hyperbolic 5 by 4t plus 3 sine hyperbolic 5 by 4t. So this is your final answer. Next example is L inverse of s plus 1 upon s square plus s plus 1. So if we simplify or if we separate out, but we can't use again we can't use the direct formula here, just by one step, that is only we separate out these terms and taken 16 common, we get the, or we applied the direct inverse Laplace transform formula. But in this example, if we separate out these two terms, that is s upon s square plus s plus 1 plus 1 upon s square plus s plus 1, s upon s square plus s plus 1, this function is not matched. So s upon means we have to compare with this formula and this formula, because this formula contains s upon term. So s upon only denominator contains two terms, s square, squaring term, and constant term. Squaring term and constant term, squaring s square term and constant term. A square is your constant. But here in denominator, s upon s square plus s plus 1, that is if we separate out we get s upon s square plus s plus 1 plus 1 upon s square plus s plus 1. Again we can't, when we separate out these two terms, this is not of use, because by separate out the terms again we can't use the formula of inverse Laplace transform, because by separating the terms we get s upon three terms are present in denominator, and in formula only two terms should be present. So hence this step is not of use for this example, that is separating the terms. So we have to think the other method. So that method, which method we are using here, that method contains the shifting property, and this shifting property we have studied in Laplace transform chapter. That shifting property we have to use in reverse order, we get the shifting property in inverse Laplace transform formula. So how to use this shifting property in inverse Laplace transform chapter? So here the shifting property in Laplace chapter is L of e raised to at, you can take plus minus at, ft equal to, take ft Laplace, and with substitution s equal to, if at is there then take substitution as s minus a. So this is your shifting property, and Laplace of ft, this is your shifting property we have used directly by this notation only we have used in first chapter, that is Laplace transform chapter. But in inverse Laplace transform chapter we have to use the notation in the form of s variable, that is Laplace of e raised to at into ft equal to Laplace of ft with substitution. So L of ft is your t variable notation, but in second chapter, inverse chapter, we have to use s variable notation, that is the other notation is also existed for this Laplace of ft, that is f bar s. F bar s equal to f bar s with substitution s equal to s minus a. So this is your shifting property in Laplace transform. In Laplace transform we have used this notation L of ft because t variable is present, and in inverse chapter we have to use the s variable notation. It is easy to apply the properties in second chapter. So use instead of Laplace of ft, use f bar s notation in second chapter, because this notation contains s variable and we want s variable in second chapter, inverse chapter. So L of e raised to at ft equal to f bar s with substitution s equal to s minus a. Then how to convert this shifting property from Laplace transform to inverse Laplace transform? Take this L operator on RHS. So we get L inverse of f bar s with notation s equal to s minus a is equal to e raised to at into ft. So here again we can simplify this notation, f bar s with substitution s equal to s minus a. So put s equal to s minus a here. So f bar s changes to f bar s minus a. So this is your shifting property, and take this L operator on RHS, we get L changes to L inverse of f bar s minus a equal to e raised to at into ft. Or if there is a plus sign then this is property, if there is a minus sign then you have to just change s plus a. So L inverse of f bar s plus a is equal to e raised to minus at ft. L inverse of f bar s plus a equal to e raised to minus at ft. Just we have to remember all these notations, that is L of ft is equal to f bar s. Then L inverse of f bar s is equal to ft. So these are your notations. So when we use a notation contains t variable, that notation is very useful in first chapter, but in second chapter the notation contains s variable, that notation is very useful in second chapter. That is, we have to use t variable notation in first chapter and s variable notation in second chapter. So here, this is your original shifting property. Laplace of e raised to plus minus at ft equal to Laplace of ft is equal to s minus a or s plus a. But in second chapter, inverse chapter, this L of ft doesn't work, this notation. Hence, we have to use the notation contains s variable. So L of ft has the other notation in s variable as f bar s. So changes L of ft as f bar s. With substitution s equal to s minus a, so it becomes f bar s plus a or s minus a. So we have, take this L on. So we have first write shifting property e raised to plus minus at ft is equal to, in s variable notation, f bar s minus a or s plus a. So this is your shifting property in s variable notation. Then this is your shifting property in first chapter. In second chapter, take this L operator on RHS. So we get L inverse of f bar s minus plus a equal to e raised to plus minus at ft. Again plus minus e raised to at as it is. This ft, this ft notation has the other notation also. Ft is your L inverse of f bar s. So write ft as L inverse of f bar s. So this is your shifting property in inverse chapter, second chapter. So in such type or in such steps, we have to apply the other properties also, or we have to form the other properties. Just we have formed this formula of inverse chapter or inverse Laplace transform formula. In same manner, we have to form the properties or formula of these properties in second chapter by using the first chapter properties. So this is your first chapter property, shifting property. Convert the notation or use the notation in s variable. So this is your Laplace of e raised to plus minus a t ft equal to Laplace of ft with substitution s equal to s minus plus a. So take L of ft. Instead of L of ft, take notation, this notation which is in s variable, because this notation is very useful in second chapter. So L of ft means f bar s. So f bar s with substitution s equal to s minus plus a. So put this s equal to this bracket. So it becomes f bar s plus minus a, because this is the substitution for s. So replace this s by s minus plus a, s by s minus plus a. So we have the property in our notation, Laplace of e raised to plus minus a t f t equal to f bar s minus plus a. So take this L operator on RHS. So inverse of f bar s plus minus a or minus plus a is equal to e raised to plus minus a t f t, e raised to plus minus a t f t. But this ft notation doesn't work in the second chapter. Hence this notation we have to change. So ft replaced by L inverse of f bar s. ft replaced by L inverse of f bar s. So this is the double underlined terms, these two terms, that is this term equal to this term. So this is your first shifting property. So how to use this first shifting property? In this is your shifting property. So in this property, how to find the inverse of? The property says that the inverse of bracketed term s plus a or s minus a. The bracketed term, whatever the function or given the function given in the example, that example should be in the form of bracketed term. That is, then only we can use this shifting property. So the shifting property in inverse Laplace transform says that inverse of f bar s plus minus a, that is f bar s plus minus a means the function or the term contains the bracketed function, or the equation contains the bracketed term. Which bracket? The bracket is fixed, either s plus a or s minus a. This bracket should be present. Then only we can find the inverse of this function by using this shifting property, as inverse of this function, bracketed function, is equal to e raised to, if there is a plus sign, plus bracketed term, then take e raised to minus at. If there is a s minus a bracketed term, then take e raised to plus at outside, and take inverse of this f bar s. Which f bar s? Whatever the f bar s plus minus a, from this function we have to obtain f bar s function, and then for that f bar s function we have to find the inverse Laplace transform, and this answer we have to multiply to this exponential function. So this is your shifting property. So for this shifting property in this inverse chapter, we have to convert the given example in this bracketed form. Then only we can use this shifting property. So here we are using shifting property, but the given function or given example is not in the bracketed form. So to convert the given example into bracketed form, that is s plus a form or s minus a bracketed form, we have to use the bracket square method. So to use the shifting property, convert the given example into bracketed function, s plus a bracket or s minus a bracketed term, and for this bracketed term we have to use the bracket square method, and this bracket square method generally used for denominator only. Means first apply this bracket square method on denominator and then apply on numerator. First we have to apply on denominator. This is the sequence. So here the denominator is s square plus s plus 1. So this is the there are three terms, s square plus s plus 1. So we have to convert this denominator into bracket square function. So how to convert this denominator into bracket square term? So this is your bracketed term, s plus half. That is here s plus a means s plus half. That is a value is your half. So this bracketed term should be present to use this shifting property. So how to convert this s square plus s plus 1 to this term, bracketed term? So first term is s square. Take its square root. So s square root is s. Then the middle coefficient of s. The middle coefficient of s is 1. Middle coefficient of s dividing by 2. So this is the rule we have to remember, or we have to just note. So this is the method to convert the any example or any term into bracket square method. So take square root of s square, that is s. This is your first term of bracket square. Then for second term, take the coefficient of s. Coefficient of s is 1 and divide that number by 2. That is coefficient of s is 1, divide by 2, that is we get 1 by 2. So plus 1 by 2 is there. So this is your second term. So s square root is s. Coefficient of s is 1, divide by 2. So we get plus 1 by 2. So plus 1 by 2 is your second term. Take the its bracket square. So s plus half bracket square. For this we are using s plus half bracket square for these two terms. Then for plus 1, simplify this square in rough. So its square expansion, a plus b bracket square formula, a square plus twice ab plus b square. So s square plus twice ab, that's 2 get cancelled, we get s plus b square means 1 by 4. So this expansion gives s square plus s plus 1 by 4. So this is the expansion, but we are converting this denominator to this bracket square term. Hence use this rule for having first and second term, then take bracket square, then simplify this bracket square or expand this bracket square, whatever the extra term is there, because there is a one term and we have the extra term 1 by 4. So cancel this 1 by 4 by taking minus 1 by 4 and take this original plus 1 as it is. So simplify this s square plus s. This is your s square plus 1 by 2 bracket square, the first term, and the minus 1 by 4 plus 1 will give you 3 by 4. So this is your bracket square method. So again I repeat that this is your shifting property in this second chapter notation, that is we have to use the s variable notation for applying the property, shifting property. So we recall the shifting property in first chapter, that is Laplace transform, and take that L operator on RHS, we get the shifting property in inverse Laplace transform. But while forming the shifting property formula, we are taking the notation which contains the s variable. So L of ft is your f bar s, then again ft is your L inverse of f bar s. So these are notations we have to use for easily finding the answer of this given example by using these properties. So to use this shifting property, we have to use the bracket square method. So this bracket square method depends on the denominator, that is we have to convert the denominator into bracket square. How to convert? So this is the rule, that is take this square root of s square as s, this is your first term of bracket square, then the coefficient of s, take coefficient of s as 1 and divide by 2 only. So this is your number 2 fixed for all the examples or any examples. So whatever the coefficient of s, take that number with dividing by 2. So there is a coefficient 1, dividing by 2 we get 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, which sign we have to take. So plus 1 by 2 is your second term, take its square, bracket square. Then for these 3 terms we are using this bracket square term. So expand this first term, s plus half bracket square term, s square plus s plus 1 by 4, but here plus 1 is there. So this 1 by 4 in expansion, whatever the last number is there, we have to eliminate that by changing its sign, that is plus 1 by 4 eliminate by changing by taking minus 1 by 4. Then whatever in expansion, whatever the last number is there, we have to take its opposite sign number, that is plus 1 by 4 is your last number in this expansion, take its opposite sign number, that is minus 1 by 4, and take plus 1 which is in the original term, take as it is plus 1. Then for simplifying, first 3 terms are s plus half bracket square, and this minus 1 by 4 plus 1 will give you plus 3 by 4. So this is your bracket square method for this bracket square term for this denominator. So this is the bracket square term for this denominator. Same bracket we have to take on numerator. So directly whatever the numerator is given in the example, neglect that term which is in numerator. Whatever the bracket we have adjusted in denominator, that same bracket take on numerator as it is, that is s plus half bracket square plus 3 by 4, s plus half bracket square plus 3 by 4. Take this s plus half bracket as it is on numerator, s plus half, and adjust this s plus 1 in the form of s plus half as s plus half, write as it is. As we are writing this s plus 1 is equal to this numerator, so instead of s plus 1 we write s plus half, and for matching this s plus 1 write this half separately. So by simplifying, we have to get the original function, that is we have to take care of that. So this is bracket square term of the denominator, take that bracket as it is on numerator, s plus half take as it is on numerator, and to match this s plus 1, this s plus half, so this 1 split it into half, so s plus half plus half. So this is your bracket square method. Then apply the shifting property. So for bracket square bracketed form, if they are a bracketed term, its inverse is e raised to minus 80 or plus 80. So the bracket is s plus half. So we have to take e raised to minus half t. If there is a s plus a, we have to take e raised to minus 80. So if there is a s plus half, we have to take e raised to minus half t outside the L inverse operator. So e raised to minus half t, e raised to minus 80, inverse of f bar s. And this f bar s we have to form, or we have to obtain from this bracketed term. And this is your bracketed term, this term. And from this we have to obtain f bar s. How to find f bar s? So instead of that bracket, we have to put s only. So we get, this is your bracket, s plus half, put s only. So s plus half, s square plus 3 by 4. So this is your f bar s. This is your f bar s. So here by separating, we can't use the given formula of inverse Laplace transform formula directly. Then we are using shifting property. For shifting property, we are using s variable notation. And for shifting property, the given function, to use the shifting property, the given function should be in bracketed term. So to convert the given example into bracketed term or bracketed function, use the bracket square method. And this is first for denominator, bracket square method. And whatever the bracket we have adjusted in denominator, same bracket we have to adjust on numerator. So this sequence is from denominator to numerator, that is denominator first, then numerator we have to adjust. So here the given function is, in the given function the denominator is converted to bracket square method, bracket square term, then that bracket is adjusted to numerator. So given whole function is converted to bracketed term. Then apply the shifting property. In shifting property, whatever the bracket is there, here the bracket is s plus a. So take exponential term outside, e raised to minus half t, that is e raised to minus 80, inverse of that f bar s. And this f bar s we have to obtain from this bracketed term. That is how to obtain this f bar s from this bracketed term. So this is your bracketed term. Obtain f bar s as, just write s instead of that bracket. So this is your bracket, write s only. Instead of this bracket, write s plus half upon, this is your bracket, write s square as it is plus 3 by 4. Then find the, so this is your shifting property, first shifting property in inverse Laplace transform. Then find this inverse by previous examples, as separate out these two terms, that is s upon s square plus 3 by 4, half upon s square plus 3 by 4, we get s upon s square plus 3 by 4, half upon s square plus 3 by 4. So it is to minus half t as it is. So s upon s square plus s upon s square plus. So this, the given function or given example is matched with this formula cos 80. So this formula is s upon s square plus a square. Compare this s upon s square plus a square with this s upon s square plus 3 by 4. So a square is your 3 by 4. A value is root 3 by 2. So put this a value in this formula, cos root 3 by 2t. Cos root 3 by 2t. Then half as it is, inverse of 1 upon s square plus 3 by 4. 1 upon s square plus 1 upon s square plus. This given example or given function 1 upon s square plus, take half outside because it is constant. So 1 upon s square plus means this is, we have to use the formula. So sin 80 upon a. So s square plus a square. A square is your 3 by 4. A value is root 3 by 2. Put this a value in this. Sin root 3 by 2t upon root 3 by 2. Sin root 3 by 2t upon root 3 by 2. So simplify, just simplify this. Root 3 by 2 take on numerator. 2 by root 3. 2 get cancelled. We get the final answer. Thank you.